Let me flip it real quick. It's GT the Vibe Podcast coming at you another episode. We got Miss Vacation herself over here.
Hello.
Shonda, she kind of crazy. And then we got this big head chick over here in the middle, the Mexican, the senorita. She says she mucho caliente, but she extra cold in the heart. I'm just kidding. It's A. Marie. It's A. Marie. She been on vacation too. That's because I got to look at y'all from with the side eye right now. You know what I'm saying? You see me? I'm looking at y'all with the side eye. I can see Shonda right now. I can't see you. You blend in with the couch.
Okay,
You blend in with the couch today.
I'm about to go Finding Nemo.
I'm finna go grab a bottle if y'all keep playing with me. We got to find Dory. I don't even like Nemo. Dory was the one. Dory was the one.
Dory was all about it.
She was about that. So today we're gonna answer some questions from some emails that people emailed in. The first one is easy. It's just a one-liner. He said, this dude asked me. He said, "Who moves on quicker at the end of a relationship, women or men?"
Oh, women for sure.
Damn, why y'all? That's quick.
Because women emotionally detach. Like when we're done, we're done.
Once you start feeling the relationship over, you will start getting those cues like, okay, yeah, it's either time to change or it's time to move on.
Mm-hmm.
So you saying that y'all moved on before y'all done with the relationship?
Yep.
Damn, y'all cold,
because
bruh.
Physically,
yeah,
but
physically.
Y'all just be there. Y'all just be there. Y'all just showing up.
Yeah.
It's just like showing up at the job you don't like.
Pretty much.
You just collecting that paycheck.
Every single day.
That's crazy. That's nuts. I didn't think y'all would answer it just like that. That was quick.
Because
Y'all didn't even have to think about it.
facts. Yeah.
Y'all didn't even think about it.
When you it's happened before. Like you literally exhaust all your emotions and you really have nothing left. Like women are emotionally invested. Like yeah, man, looks good, but I need like that intelligence emotionally there with you. And if I exhaust mine before anything, not getting nothing from you, yeah, I'm checked out.
Damn.
And you're gonna know too, because a lot of women out there will tell you, hey, like I'm giving you all this, you're not giving me this. Can you work on this? And if you don't do it, you're out.
Damn, that's y'all dirty, bro.
We don't even do the 3-strike rule with that.
Damn, it's one strike.
It's like one. Okay, I'm telling you. Now the
Y'all
second
crazy.
time, shame
Y'all
on me for
crazy.
having to tell you, but I'm out.
Y'all crazy
Like,
for that.
I'm out.
Y'all crazy for
well,
that.
that's the thing you gotta think about
Yeah.
though. Like how much do we have to tell you, hey, you're not fulfilling this need? I'm saying, hey, can you fulfill this need for me?
And y'all ready to jump on them, motherfucker.
Like, a lot of people out there were really good with communicating. We're giving you those hints, like, come on. We're trying to reel you in, but you're just keeping yourself casting out. Like, at some point, how long is it going to take for you to stop dealing with stuff before it's just time to move on?
That's like, don't make a woman cry.
Are there
Cry so many times.
Are there particular things that women detach, like certain things that make them detach, or is it just like a gradual process that happens over time with a bunch of little stuff? Or is there something that's like a trigger that's just like, all right, I'm detached now?
I think it morally just depends on the woman.
Yeah, for sure.
Like for me, it was so many small little things that I was saying was an issue that were becoming big problems. And I tried addressing that stuff, and I addressed it nicely. I wasn't rude about it. I was like, hey, we need to work on this. Hey, we need to do this. Hey, like, you're doing okay here, but, hey, we got to do better here. And it just wasn't going anywhere. It was like a continuous bad cycle. And it was like always fighting, always a bunch of irritations. So much little stuff was not being done here, and it just became big. So it was just like that, and that's just for my situation.
That's over time, okay.
And I just think it also, like, it is on a situational basis because, I mean, when I was younger in my relationships, of course, I don't know what love is. You know, I'm going to stick around a little bit longer than I am now. Baby. But now it's like, you make me mad only, like, not even a handful of times. I'm sorry, but I can't do this. Like, I'm not wasting my
You got a shorter fuse.
And they're like, I'll blow it out when it's done. Like, like there's no long fuse there.
That's
There's
good.
no point. Like, why am I going to waste my time?
So we've agreed that women move on quicker than men. I agree with y'all. First of all, I don't even need to say no. Y'all said everything I would have said. How they move on is different, obviously.
Yes.
But who heals better? Who's better at the healing process after the breakup? Who do you guys think heals better? and your personal opinions.
I think it could go either way, honestly, because it just depends on the person, really.
How do women heal? How do you guys heal after a breakup?
See,
I take time to myself, to be honest with you, just understand.
That's not the majority of women, I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
I know that. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna say that was me
Yeah.
too, but I'm not saying I was always.
You
The
probably
one
had a
jumping-
time. Yeah,
I
you
was,
probably had a
well,
time.
I didn't like jumping in from a relationship to a relationship, but I mean now
That's unhealthy as
it's
heck.
like it took me a while to actually get into a relationship because of course I
That's good.
talk to people, but you know it's like if they can't offer me what I'm looking for, and I mean without having to tell them you know what I'm looking for, like I mean it's either gonna work or it's not, but now it's just like being in a healthy relationship, it definitely opens your eyes to a lot of
To what
different
you,
stuff.
what you might have been
And I'm just
missing.
like, okay, like I can do this again, but it's not the same.
Calm your butt down. What about you, Shauna?
ah,
What do you think?
I'd say some talk about it.
Yeah.
That a lot of women have that more opening to talk about what's going on in their lives than men. Women can get over it a lot easier because we're just open to saying a lot of our emotions. And it's not every woman. Some women don't want people to know their business, and some women don't have that person that they can talk to or feel that they trust they can talk to about their emotions. And the same thing with men. A lot of men don't talk about what's going on. They'll just like keep it in there and they'll just move on to the next one. That's just my point. That's
Just
my
keep it pushing.
opinion.
But do you think men move on more faster physically or emotionally? Because I know men just aren't keen to their emotions.
I think it's a common misconception that we're not keen to our emotion. I think that women move on physically first, most women, because I think if you look at it from a standpoint of physically, women control sex, right? Like you guys control sex. So it's easier for you to move on physically, and that's where most women move on physically first. Whereas men, we don't control sex. Like we can't just go out there. I mean, you guys have to open your legs to us. We don't. I mean, there's instances when dudes do dumb shit, but for the most part, women control sex. So physically, that's the physical part of a relationship. So they control that. And so once a woman moves on, that's usually how most of them do it. They'll go sleep with somebody else, and then that physical connection. Once you have physically connected with somebody else, it's easier to detach from the other person. Whereas men, we don't have that, so we have to move on emotionally. It may take a little bit longer, and that's why you see most men when they get into a breakup or a divorce, they'll go working out, they'll go spend more times with their buddies. That's them. They're fixing their emotional. So I think that people think that men aren't emotional. We're just emotionally different. Like our emotions are felt differently. Like when you look at sports and sports teams, that's where men show their emotions. Like when you're getting together with your brothers and you're finna go do something. The Call of Duty bros, like my boy Jones, we go on Call of Duty at nighttime and we talk about life stuff while we're playing a game. And so like that's how we show emotion. It's just different than what women are used to. And so I think that because we don't show it all the time, because we're not super emotional creatures in the first place, it doesn't mean we don't have them. We just do different things. Like a lot of times whenever we're emotional and we show emotion, it's more you'll get like clips of emotion. If you ever notice that with your men, you'll get clips of emotion. And I mean, that's because we don't want to throw it all on you guys, number one. Because we feel like if we throw it all on you guys, then we're not being the type of man that we're supposed to be. So we take on your guys' emotions, and we'll take it all on, and we'll keep battling and help you battle yours. But sometimes we forget ourselves. But when you break up, now you have to put yourself first. And so I think that's when men start to really connect with themselves emotionally, and they start to connect with their brothers emotionally. Even if you got sisters, friends that are around you, you start to connect more with them emotionally. So I think that we move on emotionally better than females do. Females move on physically because it's easier. It's a convenience thing.
It does make sense.
And so, I mean, I think that plays a role into a lot of the baggage that gets brought in other relationships, because I think some women, it takes a special type of woman who will not move on physically and will fix herself mentally. It takes a certain type of woman to do that. And when you do that, you'll get into a good relationship next because you'll be healthy. And I think that a lot of women, they don't become healthy, and so then they go into the next relationship, and now you slept with a couple dudes because you wanted to get rid of the old guy, the guy that you were with, and then you take on the bad habits of these dudes that you slept with. So now you're bringing that to the new guy, and then you have the whole toxic thing over and over again. It's a cycle. So I think women have to find themselves emotionally after the breakup. Because in the relationship, y'all will definitely tell us your emotions 110%. We will hear them all. But I think after that, after that's done, because you don't have that emotional outlet, you use the physical outlet because it's easier. And it's something that you don't have to work on. You control that. So you're back in control. Whereas in a relationship, you have, it's a 50-50 control type of thing. Then when you get out, then it's more you're on you. I noticed it with like Giselle. She divorced Tom Brady, and now she's feeling the emotions of it. Like initially, when it was her yoga or karate instructor, so she ended up with him like a month after the divorce. And Tom Brady didn't say nothing. He didn't come on the news and say nothing. My man just focused on what he focused on. He went through his NFL season, finished it up, and then a couple months later, he came back and he had a chick. And now that he has a chick, now she mad because he has a chick. But he healed himself emotionally. He took care of what he had to take care of. And now later on, because she went that route, she didn't fix herself emotionally. Now she's like, man, I miss what I had. And so I think that happens to a lot of females because they don't get themselves emotionally. They'll leave because of something small. And I think that in a relationship, you got to fix the small things. You got to do the small things, but you got to remember that they are small things. And I think that's where we kind of, I'm sorry to go on a rant. I think that's where we kind of get to a point where that's where disconnect happens. I was watching a podcast where there's a guy, he's talking about him and his wife, been together for 15 years. And she said she knew it was over because she would have like some peanuts and they were always refilled. Like he just knew to do that. And when he stopped doing that, she was like, that's when I knew. And I was like, well, that's a small thing. I'm like, is he doing everything else for you? Or are you looking at are you giving yourself a reason to leave? There's a difference between having a reason to leave and giving yourself a reason to leave. And I think that men and women both have to see that and have to understand that there are legit reasons to leave. Cheating, obviously a reason to leave. Abuse, obviously those are obvious reasons to leave. But then there's the little stuff that people let add up to big things that may not actually be big things when you look at it. When you look at what's actually important to the relationship. And so I think that we have to, as men and women, have better conversations about what it is that's important to us in the relationship. That way we both know coming in, okay, you like this, I like this, we both know it. So if we both know it and now you choose not to do it, now you're making a choice not to satisfy your partner, or you're making a choice not to satisfy your partner. And so I think that is when disconnect happens. And it's a slow process. And I agree with you guys, women do disconnect. When they do disconnect, it's disconnected, like it's over. But I think that it's a gradual process. I don't think it just happens overnight. Yeah. It takes time. Like and now men, whenever we disconnect, it can happen like you flip the coin and we're disconnected. But the thing about us that's different is we can reconnect. Once a woman is disconnected, she's exhausted everything she needed to exhaust. She done. Whereas men, we will disconnect and reconnect throughout the relationship, and you guys won't even know it. Like you guys won't even know it. Like we'll distance a little bit and we'll come back. But I think that women don't understand that distance is a good distance. It's us. We're actually taking care of our emotions at that point in time. Because there's things that need to be said and things that don't need to be said. Like if you have a checkered past, say you got together and you guys had some stuff that happened before you guys got in a serious relationship, and you get to a point where there's some pain there, right? And that pain can stick around for a while. And so men will disconnect, and we won't, and we don't need to go back and bring your past up on you and try to make you feel bad. So we'll just back up a little bit, fix everything in here. We'll come back to you, but we'll always come back. But I think that women sometimes want to know everything, and that's where you get in some issues whenever a man is kind of like going back into his own emotions, because we feel like we have to fix them on our own. It's not that we don't trust y'all. Some men don't trust y'all. I will tell you that. But me and my experience, that's something that I've experienced myself. Is sometimes I'll back up, get myself recomposed, and figure out what's going on inside me, fix that, and then come back to it, as opposed to like trying to like throw everything on top of somebody. So, but I feel like that's a disconnect. Sorry to get on a rant, but that's just something that I've experienced myself, and I've talked to other people that have experienced that type of stuff. And so I think that we have to have a better understanding of male and female nature. I think females need to understand men, and I think men need to understand females. So we understand how you guys are emotionally, and then you guys understand how we are emotionally. So that way, it's not about what you think emotions is, and you put that on top of your man. And it's not your man saying you need to be less emotional. No, you should never say that, because you're emotional creatures. We know you are. So we should never tell it to. But you guys should know on the flip side too, we're not extremely emotional creatures. We have moments of emotion, like when you find out you're having a daughter or something like that, or you give your daughter away to at a wedding. Like those are we will cry. Like I will cry when my daughter goes to get married. Like I will cry, and that's because I'm an emotional person. I just it's just different the way we show it.
Right.
And so that's I'm sorry to get on a long rant, but that's just kind of to put those last two things together and
Right.
some of the things that I've experienced in my life and people I've talked to because I've got a lot of married friends who only been married for like a year or two, and I'm like, dude, when y'all get to 10, 15, 20 years, like once you get past 7, then you know. Once you get past 7, then you're like, okay, we could probably make this shit work. It gets harder. It's not easy. And I had an old boss he was married for 50 years. He said the odd years are always the toughest. I don't know why. I don't know why. So then,
They are.
because I guess so. So I'm gonna go to this question real quick. So this dude, he emailed in. So he was dating a female, and he said that they every time they get in a fight or have some type of dispute, she needs space. Like she feels like she needs to go and be alone for a little bit, and usually a couple days at a time. What do you think causes that? Or how should this guy go about communicating that he doesn't, because he doesn't like the space is what I got from his email, but she needs the space for some odd reason. I don't know. Like it sounded immature to me, but that's just my own opinion. But I want to get the female opinion. Like, have you guys ever been in a relationship where you get in fights and then you feel like you need like space, time to yourself?
From my experience in the past, I have been exactly where he is, but I was the female, because me and my boyfriend at the time, we had gotten into a big argument, and I was younger at this time too, so I didn't even know how to figure out my emotions yet.
Yeah.
But I never went away for a couple days, but I had to leave for at least a few hours just to break away and get that space. If she's going away for a couple days, I would have him send like just a simple text. Hey, I'm sorry. Or, hey, when you have your time, let's talk about this. I don't like this. I don't like how this was. I don't like how we ended this. Let's fix it. Let's find a way to fix it. That's just some things that I would say for him to do. Because there are females out there where it gets, like, the fights and stuff, like, we are emotional people, and the fights get so much to where it's like we have to escape. And so I would say just have him send, like, some text messages, like
a check-in.
Just letting her know that he's still thinking about it.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about it. I'm sorry for our fight. I'm sorry how it ended up like that. It's like that.
I mean, maybe just get the understanding of why she does that. I mean, is it like a coping mechanism? Is it something that, obviously, if she gets triggered that way, she has to take that time to kind of just reevaluate the situation or what's going on, or even her. Like, maybe she doesn't want to act out in a super aggressive or a way that, you know, may push him away or do whatever.
Anger.
Yeah.
A way to control anger. Interesting. That's good.
I mean,
That's
that's
good.
my perspective on it. I mean, I never did that. I always wanted to know, like, how are we gonna
You
fix
always
this?
wanted
How are we
to
gonna
know.
fix this? Like,
Well, I mean, not everybody is like that too, and I think that people that are like that have that mindset, they have it's easier for them to fix problems. Whereas people with the other mindset, it's a little bit harder. I don't know if you noticed, but like sometimes you might have had it was harder to fix some issues because you kind of give yourself not to call it an easy out, but you give yourself an out because it's like, damn, like it's a lot, and so I need to walk away, as opposed to sometimes it's good to battle through and say, because at those heated moments, I feel like, and I mean, especially in a relationship in general, whenever you have hard time, I feel like that's when you find out what you think of each other, like how you feel about each other. And so I think that a couple hours is cool. Like that makes sense. Days,
yeah,
you might start to, there might be some other stuff going on.
Yeah.
If there's days where you can't communicate, or where you're not communicating with your significant other, like that's a stretch. Like hours, I can see, if you want to go to the park a couple hours, or you want to go get a drink with your girls a couple hours, whatever, to like decompress. But I don't think as adults we need days to decompress.
No.
Like personally, I don't think that I think that's a little bit excessive, and there might be some personal stuff going on.
Right.
That she may need to fix. She might not be ready for a relationship, to be honest with you.
Right.
If you need that type of time away, so that'd be my opinion on
What
it.
are
But
you doing?
I mean, that begs the question, because
if there's no like explanation as to what she is doing. Like, I get it. Some people isolate themselves. I know some people that do that. Anytime event outside of a relationship is just stressful, they don't really communicate with anybody. They just keep to themselves. Not that that's a good coping mechanism, but if that's just what you know and what you do, then
and you're comfortable with
do
it.
But
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in a relationship, been in a relationship for a year, that doesn't make any sense to me. But
Yeah, it's
to each their own.
yeah, it's interesting because I mean I've talked to people and their chick will tell them like she's trying to find herself, and it's like
But
if you're trying to find
What
yourself
you trying to
separate from I'm like if you're trying to find yourself separate from your partner, then you probably need to be separate from your partner, like
We're
period.
not ready for that.
It's
We
like
don't
you know what
even
I'm saying.
know
It's
how
like
to
you
figure
probably
this
don't need to
out.
be in a relationship. Like
who else are you confiding in? Because I mean, come on now, we're all human. You ain't a monk, so
Yeah.
you ain't going and sitting on a rug.
you
and,
ain't gonna go sit on right like,
humming like the entire time. Like you're not doing that. Like we don't live like that here.
That's
so, I mean,
why you gotta come with facts like that. Why you gotta come with
because
facts
you
like
gotta
that.
put it in the realistic perspective.
I mean,
like,
that's a realistic. Like that's true. You're
Like,
always
unless
confiding
you-
in somebody.
right,
Yes.
unless your therapist is telling you to do that, but who's your therapist? Because
Yeah, if a therapist is telling you to do that, they're not going to help
you
you.
paying too much money. Or
Yeah, they're probably not gonna help you, and you're gonna probably got some other shit going on.
Like baseline, like no one is gonna stay away for 2 days. You're doing something, or unless you just don't want to be in a relationship and you just want to be by yourself. Like,
And that's cool. And that's cool. And I mean, and if she feels like that, she should tell him like, hey,
Yeah, like,
I don't need to be in a relationship, and that's cool. Like, be okay with that. Don't hold on to him, like trap him while you trying to do what you're doing.
and
Like,
having
nah.
Susie or Ben or Todd, who knows out there.
Comfort.
You know
Out
what I
there
mean?
comforting,
Like,
yeah,
I don't know
because
that- we don't
there's
do that.
always comfort from somebody. Somebody's
Yes.
always going to be giving comfort at some
Yes.
point, especially when you're gone for a long period of time, which is weird. Like I've heard of that sometimes. I've had friends that have dealt with that, but I've never. That's kind of weird to me. Like I'd be like, what the heck going on? Like I'd have some questions.
Well, yeah,
Um, What's the plan? Like what's the plan?
Yeah.
Like I'm finding myself, or I need space from you right now, or I need a break, or I'm hurt, or whatever. I got you, but like that's a long time.
yeah, no.
Like you definitely talking to
Like,
somebody.
2 days, you take 2 days more. Make it 2 years.
Yeah,
make
just keep
2
on going.
lifetimes
Yeah,
out of
go
my
ahead. She said, just keep on going.
life. Just keep on
That
going.
makes sense, though. I mean, that makes sense
The
too.
door
I
is
mean,
closed.
my advice to him is just man, keep it real with her.
Right.
Obviously, you don't have to do like, and I feel like men, we think we have to do certain stuff because our woman wants to, and it's like, dude, like you're a man. If you don't like it, just say you don't like it,
Right.
and
Be
then
honest.
let her make the decision that she wants to make. Okay, you want to stay away, you can do what you got to do, but then I'm gonna go do what I got to do, and then whatever happens,
Right.
and we're gonna keep it pushing after that. So. That's good, man. Y'all on today, man. Y'all, what y'all? You drink your coffee? You drink your
Yeah,
coffee?
I drank the whole thing.
She drank the whole thing.
I'm
I need to go
good.
get that yak out the kitchen because I get that yak. I need to get that
Yeah,
yak.
get a couple of them.
Oh,
cups over
damn.
here.
Let me get that yak out the kitchen. Did P Diddy do it?
Probably.
Oh, for sure. What are we talking about, man? What are you
Get
talking
shit together.
about?
I said, did P Diddy do it?
Dang. Yes.
Oh
My
damn!
eyes are switching a little bit too much. You running away from something.
All right, next question. So, if somebody is promiscuous in the beginning of a relationship, like in the talking phase, do you think that they will always be like that? And this don't matter, male or female. Like, if somebody's like, the way I see the question as, he straight up said promiscuous, but the way I see it as is, if you start a relationship out, obviously people are talking to other people when you first get together, whatever. But if they're hiding stuff and you find stuff out later on in a relationship, is it always going to be like that?
But what are we hiding or what are we finding out? That's
So
just-
he
And
didn't
are we
really
just
he didn't really give me
Or
yeah.
are
So
we in a relationship?
so the vibe that I got from this dude, he gave me, it was a long story and I tried to skim through it. Is that he got with this chick. This chick had she had a couple options obviously in the beginning, you know, and then he found out about the options, but she ended up dating him. So he ended up getting her. It took a while, but one of the options stuck around, and she didn't tell him that she still had communication with one of the dudes. And so what he said in his long ass book is that this chick said that that there's a guy that had her heart, so she couldn't be with him yet. Which to me kind of sounded like she was just trying to see if that was going to work first and then get with him. But she telling him that's not what it is. But that's neither here nor there. So he's asking like, if it starts out like that, will it always be like that essentially?
Yes.
It sounds like she had one that got away, Which is not always a bad thing because a lot of us all have that one that got away at some point in our life, and then we ended up finding a new person that made everything a lot better. I personally don't have. I've had one that went away a long time ago. I don't have communication with them because I found somebody that actually does well for me.
So sometimes losing is winning. That's what you're saying?
Sometimes
Oh, that's
losing
deep.
is winning.
Damn, that's deep. I like that. Keep going. Sorry, Sean.
Questions for him to ask is like, I would have him like ask her, what is this person to you? Like, why is the communication still there? I don't know how long they've been together, but I would put that into the circumstance too. How long those two have been together, and then how long has she been talking to him, and what are the conversations like? Because some girls, they have that guy that is their best friend. That yes, it has their heart, but it's not in that perspective where it's romantic. It's just they have that guy best friend that doesn't want their goodies.
So question for so if it, and this is just to tag along because I like asking questions. So if it was a guy and they were intimate at some point, and then they just kind of no more intimacy at some point, they're like, all right, we're not gonna be intimate no more. Is it good for them to stay friends when she or he or the other guy gets into another relationship? Is it good enough? Is it good to keep that dude around?
It depends on the person, to be honest. Because I mean, some people can like just be like, "Oh yeah, we did." Like, of course, I have no ill will towards you, so I have no reason to not keep you in my life as a friend and have you to be able to confide in you. You know me, so you're just always gonna have that soul tie to that person. If it's a good one.
Yeah.
Because I mean, come on now. Like, if you're emotionally and physically involved with somebody and it didn't end on a bad note, why would you disregard or keep that person at bay when you don't want to, even though you're in a different relationship? Now you have to look at the other elements. Like, is your significant other now? Is he okay with that? Like, you have to respect that boundary. And if he's not, then figure out reasons why. Is it because that you are so close with this person and you were intimate with them, but you've explained to them. So this is kind of the fall on some people. They're not very forthcoming with information, and that's where it gets hemmed up.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, because I mean, I could say that I have friends like that or have a friend like that, but I mean, I don't really talk to them all the time because I mean, for me, I feel like, I don't know, I wouldn't ever want it to cross any type of boundary. Not that it would be physically, but like just because I mean, I don't know on a male perspective, like, do you like if Kelly was to talk to another man about your issues or anything that would go on, especially someone that she or they were some form of in a relationship with? Like, I feel like that would be weird. If my person right now would go and talk to their ex,
that'd be tough.
Oh no, and that's not me being jealous. It's just the respect thing. Like, I feel like that's not respectable. Like, if we have an issue, we need to come to me about it, and we need to just have a conversation about it.
Yeah, there's
adult ways to handle. I don't see why you need to go to this other person that is technically a female, and that you'd be about to box somebody. I mean, but I mean,
no, it's okay.
I wouldn't mind if I had to, but I mean, like, to me, it's like a respect thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't mean that like it would be ill if I was to do that. Like, I wouldn't do that like willfully to my person.
But it could happen accidentally.
But I just wouldn't.
Yeah, it could be an accident. Like, you could end up in a situation where.
Like, that's just me. A situationship.
Yeah, like that.
I mean, there's a lot of situationships out there, but I think you can. I mean, so from the male perspective, like, our biggest thing is, we want you to confide in us,
right,
about us,
and I think that's vice versa.
Yeah, yeah, and I think it's vice versa. I think even like you have to be careful, even going to your other. I mean, for you guys, even going to your female friends about your guy, like, you have to be careful, because I think what happens is friends, if you got, there's two types of friends out there. There's friends that will hold you accountable, and there's friends that will enable you to do whatever the hell you want to. Now, if you got friends that will enable you to do whatever the hell you want to, and you go talk to them about your partner, and you say something negative, they're going to continue to push negative on your partner. And what that does to you is you hear negative on your partner over and over again for people that you trust. So now that changes your perception. So now your perspective on your partners change, And not because you wanted it to change, but because you just said you could say one thing negative and it can spiral into a lot of things negative, because now you've opened the door for other people to enter inside your heart, your brain, and what you got going on and how you feel. So you have to be, I'm not saying like don't talk about your relationship with people, but just be wary of who you talk about, you know, because even
what you do that.
yeah, the manner what you do, like for me, I feel like if I came to y'all be like, okay, so what you do? I mean, you guys would ask me straight up, what did you do? That's the type of friends that you got to have around you. If your friends don't ask you what did you do, and they only get your side of the story, that's it. That's probably not gonna be a friend that's gonna help you get anywhere in life. Like you're gonna be stuck in the same situation over and over again. So I feel like you have to be careful about who you confide in and then how you confide in those people, because I think that can skew your perspective. You know, because you got your own perspective on your man, and it may not be as bad. It may be he did this one thing wrong, but then you go tell somebody, and then you guys might be drinking, and then shit start coming out, and then they start talking shit, and then in your brain now it's recalibrating how you feel about your partner. And like I said, you don't even control that. Like you went with a good heart because you wanted to get some advice, and sometimes even the closest people to you, if they're enablers, will give you bad advice. There's definitely bad advice out there. I've heard of people giving bad advice. I know people that knew that they homie was doing shit that they shouldn't have been doing, and they enabled it, and then they just stay. That's a toxic friendship, essentially. Like if if somebody's doing drugs, like if your friend's doing drugs, and you don't tell them that doing drugs is bad, like you just cool with it. Well, if it helps you, like that's not to me, that's not friendship. To me, you don't love me enough to tell me the truth. Like if you love me enough, you will always tell me the truth, even if that shit hurt. And I'd rather you tell me the truth and make it hurt today than find out later on when it's too late what the truth actually is. And so that's where I think that people get jazzed up, and I get it. I kind of went on a tangent again. I'm sorry, guys. So I get it. So I get it. Like you have good friends, like you have friendships, but like for me, I'd want it to come confide in me. I want it to come from me. I wouldn't want to come from somebody else. And I feel like you guys would want the same thing, because I mean, if your guy was to go talk to somebody, another female friend of his about you, like that'd be like that's disrespectful. I will agree that that's on a disrespectful level. And I mean, but it also depends on like what is it that he's saying, or why did you feel the need to go there?
Right.
And I think that's the question. And then when you have that question in your head with your partner, you're gonna always have that question in your head with your partner. Like once they do that one time, then it's just like a continuous cycle of, dang, well, they're gonna go over there and talk about me about, and then you wonder what they're saying, and then that kind of creates secrets in the relationship, and then it's another like there's already enough issues in relationships to not have to add in other issues in relationships. So, but as far as the guy friend that used to be intimate, or the girlfriend or whoever, if you were intimate at some point in time, it is my belief that if your partner doesn't want you around them, that if you want your partner, then you ain't gonna be around them. I think that's a decision. It might be a hard one, but I think it's a decision that is it's a safety thing. It's your partner protecting himself, but also trying to protect the relationship. Because I think you have to see it like that. He's not mad at you or hating on your past. He's just trying to. He obviously wants it bad enough, the relationship, that he's willing to say, and that's uncomfortable for a dude to say. For a dude to say he doesn't want you to be friends with a male, that is the most uncomfortable conversation that a man will ever have. So if he has it with you, that's real. Like that's when you know it's real. Because we don't because that makes us feel like we're weak or insecure. Yeah. But I personally think that makes you more manly. Like you're okay being honest. You're okay with your emotions and how you feel about something, and you're telling your woman, like, I'm okay with that. I'm okay being vulnerable to you. You can see this weakness I have, because that's a weakness, and it's a weakness that can be taken for granted, and people can take advantage of that weakness. But I think if a man comes to you and says, hey, I don't want you to be with that friend because of this, and it's a valid reason, like I can see if it's like invalid, some dumb stuff. Well, if it's he said, she said, or I heard, but if he knows, because you were honest with him in the beginning, say, hey, me and him, we have a checkered past, yada yada yada, and he's like, okay, I don't want you to be friends with him, and he tells you why, and he tells you it makes him uncomfortable. Like I feel like that is a feather in his cap, because dudes won't say that shit. Yeah. Most dudes will go along with it, and then they'll try to have themselves a friend like that on their side, and then now you haven't communicated with your partner. Now it's a battle. It's like an inner battle. You guys are enemies inside your relationship, and that's why if a dude tells you that, take it serious. Like take it 100% serious. And if y'all tell y'all do that, he should take that 110% serious, because it's vulnerable for y'all to say that too. Because women are always competing with women, so you see another woman, you know what I'm saying? Y'all be ready to put them gloves on. All right. But if you guys say that to them and they don't take it serious, then you see how much they value you in the relationship. And that's where it comes to. It's all about value. It's like, do you value your partner enough to give up what you need to give up? If he's not asking you to give up everything, he's not trying to isolate you from everybody. You know, it's just like one person here that's it's uncomfortable. I feel like you should be able to do that, because at the end of the day, if you want your partner, you want a future with your partner, and it might be the real. Sometimes you gotta give shit up, take sacrifice.
So I got a question about that one now. So let's
Come on
say
with it, Sean.
if a man or woman puts you in that situation where we're not talking about that they've had intimacy in the past, but they do have a guy that has a girl best friend or a girl that has a guy best friend, but your partner isn't okay with that. How should that person like go about telling like their best friend, hey, my man's telling me they don't want me to be around you? Like how should that person tell that conversation? The reason why I ask is because I have a lot of friends that have that.
They have that problem. Okay, well we finna coach them
like
up.
That's like more of like a jealousy thing, because I mean,
it depends. Like, to me, it depends on the person. It depends on the situation. Like, it could be a jealousy thing, yes, and you have to be able to discern that from your partner, and you have to be able to have that conversation with your partner. Like, hey, is it because you're jealous? You like if your partner completely isolates you from all men,
then there's a problem.
There's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So now, if he lets you have men in your life, he knows you got homeboys that are like brothers to you, you know. But there's this one person, then you gotta be able to discern. Okay, what is it about that one person? And but that conversation has to be had. Now, on the other hand, when you have that conversation with your friend, that is a tough conversation to have, because you have to be. I mean, but you know, if your friend is the type of friend that we have, like our friendship, and we come to each other with something like that, I feel like there's a couple different conversations that probably could happen. Number one, you have the initial conversation with your partner. They agree, okay, I don't want you to have this person in your life. Okay, got you. Can we go talk to that person? Can we have a 3-way sit down and figure out what's up? That way you can hear from that person that there's nothing there. Because it may just be that, you know, if they're not around that person, like if you got homeboys and your boyfriend don't know one or two of them, and you're around that one or two of them, he gonna have some questions. That's natural, because he doesn't know them. Like, it's harder for somebody to step out and do things with somebody else that they know face to face. Like, once we see each other face to face, it's hard for us to be able to step out and say, well, I'm gonna go do it with this person over here. And I think it'll make your boyfriend comfortable, because he knows a person. Like, if he knows this is your homeboy Gary right here, he knows what Gary's about. He's met me, we've hung out, then he's comfortable. Yeah. But I feel like most of the time when that type of stuff happens, when it's not jealousy, in which we know jealousy get crazy. When it's not jealousy, it's just because they don't know that person. Yeah. And so if they don't know that person personally, it's like, damn, can I meet him? And then once you meet him, it's like, okay, I can see why you was cool with this person. That's a good dude right there. Like, that's the type of good dude I would like you to be around. And so I think that's what it is, more so than the jealousy and like the thinking you're cheating. It's just that it makes them comfortable to know. And I mean, even like if you got, you know, homegirls too, like he might want to know your homegirls too. Because I mean, as a partner, you kind of want to know who your partner hanging around with, because that'll tell you, okay, now if you got a partner and they hanging around with a whole bunch of people that drink all the time and go out and party, you probably don't want to be in a relationship with that person, right? You don't want to have those type of thoughts going through your head all the time about what they're doing. Now, if you getting together with your homies, you guys are barbecuing, you guys are talking about life, like you have good friends, then yeah, your partner it's not even gonna be a problem. But I think it's more so the not knowing that gets people in these situations more so than anything else, because they just want to know who you're hanging out with. Because I mean, if they're a part of your life, it's our life. Like when you get in a relationship, it's not your life and his life; it's your life together. And so I think that you guys have to know each other's people that's in each other's life, and I think that helps. I mean, even for you guys probably. I mean, if your boyfriend has a homegirl, you're gonna want to know who she is. It makes you comfortable. Yeah. It's not about you being jealous. You're not jealous of her. You just want to know who she is, what she's about, and then you're comfortable. You're like, okay, now I know who she is, what she's about. This is a stand-up character. Okay, cool. You okay? Do what you got to do. But I think that's what it is more so than not, is that tell your friends to just, like, if their partner has an issue with a friend, then they need to meet that friend personally and have some conversation where they can talk and figure out, okay, what is this person about? Because that's most of the time that's what it is. Sometimes it's not, though. Sometimes it's jealousy, and they will try to isolate you from everybody. But you'll know when it's jealousy. You'll know when it comes from a jealous point, because there'll be anger behind it when they talk to you about it. When it's calm, and I mean, if he's talking to you like this and it's a calm conversation, he just wants to know. He or she just wants to know, okay, who you hanging out with? You know, what are they about? What are they doing? Making sure that I mean, they're protecting you too. They want to make sure, like, you guys are going to want to protect your men and make sure that they got people in their lives that are good influence. Because that helps you guys out. You guys get a benefit out of protecting your man to make sure he ain't hanging around no scrubs out here that's doing dumb stuff. Because then you can tell a lot about a person by the company they keep. And so if they keep in bad company, y'all gonna say something about it. I know y'all too. Y'all gonna say something about it. Hey, you need to no, this out here, dude out here doing this. Yeah, I mean, if it's questionable behavior.
You ain't going.
I mean, so it's like questionable behavior, but I mean, it's just, I mean, it all comes down to communicating and being honest and keeping it real with your partner. Like, you know, if you're uncomfortable, you're uncomfortable. It's okay to be uncomfortable. I think that people think that it's bad to be uncomfortable.
No, that's where growth happens.
That's where growth happens. When you are the most uncomfortable, when you're isolated in your thoughts and you got some things going on, that's when you grow personally. And then when you grow personally helps the relationship grow. But I think that's where it comes from.
I like that. Uncomfortable is good.
Hell yeah, it is. Like, man,
Anything, yeah.
it's crazy. Like, so Pastor Mark Driscoll, he does a podcast. Him and his wife were talking about how people need to be okay being unhappy being married. They need to practice that, because that's going to be part of your marriage. It's going to be unhappy. Part of your relationship is going to be unhappy. So, like, if you only worry about the good times and the bad times come, you're not going to know what to do. Right. So you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to be comfortable with not being happy, because you're not going to be happy all the time. And then you have to be comfortable communicating and just being honest, being open and honest with your partner about how you feel. Because at the end of the day, the only person that can help fix that, what you feel inside of you, is your partner. So why not just hand it to them so that way they can fix it? Because most of the time, the small stuff that people get divorced and break up over is stupid. And it's just because one person decided that they wanted to handle it on their own and not give it to their partner. Like, give it to your partner, because your partner going to do what needs to be done. Like, it's not people, I mean, unless you out here, like some of these thoughts out here and these dudes that these pimp dudes or players, whatever they call their fucking selves, that are out here just sleeping with it. But it's dudes and chicks out there just sleep with a whole bunch of people. Like, but then there's people that really want a relationship. And if somebody really wants a relationship, they're going to invest. And so if you give them something that is important to you, they're going to find a way. Like, they'll figure out a way to make sure whatever it is gets done or gets fixed. Like, that's what a relationship is. A relationship is, it's like tug of war back and forth.
Give and take.
Yeah, there's sacrifice in it. 100%. That's a good question. That's a damn good question. You've been kind of hinting at that question for a while, because I know you had spoke about it before about your friends and all that jazz. But yeah, just tell them, just have a conversation and be open and honest about how you feel. Like, if you feel uncomfortable, tell your partner you feel uncomfortable. Like, tell them. There's nothing wrong with telling your partner when you're uncomfortable about something. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why you got a partner in the first place. So when God put man and woman on this earth, like, he knew men were dumb as hell. And so he had to put somebody on here that was the brains of the operation, so that way men could come confide in y'all and say, hey, I need some help. Like, yeah, we'll work hard, we'll bust our ass, but you guys are on a level of intelligence that's different than ours. Ours is all about build shit. Y'all are all about make sure that this shit prospers. So when we build it, y'all help it prosper. That's the reason why we partners in crime out here. I'm not saying we doing crime, but we partners in crime. So, but yeah, sorry to get long-winded on that one, but that was a good question. Yeah. That's a good, I mean, that is one that I've heard a lot from people that are young in marriages, that are young in relationships, that they're afraid to show that vulnerability of being uncomfortable with, like, certain people. And so don't be scared. Just ask.
Don't be scared.
That's all the questions I have, man. Is there anything else that y'all got on y'all hearts today? Because Jesus was supposed to be up here on this wall, but he ain't. Somebody slacking. I'm not going to say nothing about who slacking, but somebody slacking.
I don't even know.
It was a good day.
I know, yeah.
It was a good day.
Good conversation, for sure.
Yeah, it was good, man. Y'all deep, man. Y'all be like, what I found today, like, going like this type of podcast environment is good for y'all, because y'all was diving in. Y'all keep me, and y'all do this at the same time. When y'all do that shit at the same time, I know some shit finna come out. Like, I'm just like, so let me just put my hands like this and just sit here, because damn.
Gary, you came with that fire today.
Right.
I mean, it's the Lord been talking to me, and he been telling me, like, you gotta tell people about your experiences. You gotta tell people about people, because I know a lot of people that have been married for 50 plus years, and they will tell you everything. And that's what I never understood, is why people don't go to those people. Like those are the people you want to go to. Yeah, like they want to listen. Yeah, they want to listen to Andrew Tate and them and all them dudes. Them red pill men go their own way losers. They want to listen to that shit, but they won't go talk to the married couple that been together for 50 years. Like who you think gonna be able to tell you how it works, other than the people that making it work? They've been making it work forever, and they keep making it work today. And it's crazy. Like the small things that these people do to keep their relationships going is amazing. It's the small things. It's like the little things that you do that show your partner that you still got that. You still think about them. And I think that's where people get so selfish and they want things done for them that they forget I got to do things for my partner. And I think that's where people have kind of lost their way in relationships. Is it's all about me, me, me. And when it's not supposed to be like that when your relationship is about us. There's two of us in there, so it's us. And so, but that's all I got. I can't rant no more. I can rant all day, but I'm done ranting now. Yeah, anything? Any last words, Shonda?
No, I'm good.
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
That's that's gonna be the slogan. That's gonna be the slogan. Dang, that was good. I don't even know who said that. Who said that? Was that Shonda that said that?
That was you that
Oh,
said
damn, I said that. I don't even know. Well, the Lord have come. The Holy Ghost. I appreciate you. Amen. See y'all.
Peace.
Bye.
Hey man, y'all deep.